Yeah, good.
That was good.
That was good. Right, let's get the echo go away.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful, whatever the hell this is.
Afternoon, evening.
Sure. Let's hope you're having a good one. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back.
It is
This
Saturday?
is it.
Saturday.
Today is Saturday, all day.
Anyone recommend install in Detroit area? Where is Danny?
Danny is not. Oh, I thought that was in Michigan.
He is in Michigan. That'd be Detroit, silly.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what like.
You don't know where Detroit is?
No, I don't.
This is what I got to deal with, guys.
I know.
Really what I got to do. Like,
I have no idea.
Raise your hands if you do not know where Detroit is. Nobody's raising their hand.
Exactly.
Everybody knows where Detroit is. It's the Motor City. Detroit is part of Michigan.
What bar he is?
I don't know where Danny is.
You go. I don't know either.
What is it?
DTS Audio.
DTS Audio. Look up DTS Audio here on Instagram.
Yes.
Reach out to Danny. If anything, if he can't help you, you could also reach out to Tommy. Tommy, what is it? The real Tommy? Tommy who? Oh, Tommy who? Reach out to Tommy who.
Okay.
He's up there in Michigan. I'm sure he knows somebody in that general area that could recommend someone. Must be cold in Florida. It is cold in Florida.
It is cold.
Hold on. Fernando, in case you missed it, the Seahawks scored a field goal in the last second of the first half.
17-16. No, man.
It's actually sitting right here going. I mean, it's sad.
I got to watch it.
Good evening, guys. For your help this afternoon, it's working as very good. Very good. Oh, yeah, James. Yes. So James, you know who James is, right? Okay, so
who's James?
He was the guy with me earlier today.
I mean, plenty of people they came.
So James lives here in Florida, and James knows what a big Boba Fett fan I am. And so James, okay, so this is the funny part. He knows how crunched I am for time, so he just went ahead and built it and then brought it to me. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty cool, right?
Yeah. That's right.
Sad thing is one of these days. Okay. Before we get rolling too deep into this, one of the things we're in the process of a remodel. As you guys can see, the counters over here. Oh my God, there's doors on that. You can't see crap anymore. Fernando found this right here.
Yeah, you can see it. It's all.
Yeah. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
So I don't typically keep these. I give them to the person that is building the enclosures for us. So when I design a box to have built, this is what I hand off to Sean or whoever's building the boxes for us. I'll give them this. I don't know why I still have this, but this was for a BMW 6 Series convertible. And so I'll draw it up, and not the scale, of course, as you can see on the top. And this is what I hand them so that it has all the measurements, everything. And you'd be surprised how many people still manage to screw this up. And I'd be like, dude, it's like the numbers are literally right there. It's very simple, like seriously. But yeah, so yeah, I thought that was cool. And I even put on there exactly where I want the speaker cup, like speaker cup right there. Mm-hmm. Yep. So. Hey guys,
what's up?
What is up? Good evening. Quick question. 2013 Honda Civic Coupe, factory ground under driver's seat, correct? Yeah, that'd be a good place to do it for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if it's there, yeah.
I mean, listen, if you get lucky enough to have a car that has a ground anywhere near where you're going to, a factory ground point, anywhere near where you're going to be putting your amplifier, if you don't use it, like, why? The factory picked that spot for a reason? Hell yes, use it. It reminds me of that one time the guy put up a picture of him using the factory ground Jeep point, and someone calling him out like, that's a terrible place for a ground. And it's like, so the Jeep engineers that designed the vehicle said this is the place where we should ground stuff, and you're You, Mr. Facebook superstar, are going to tell me differently?
I mean, but that's Facebook.
I know.
That's what.
That's where I go for all my medical help. 22 Tacoma with Pack Amp Pro wired CarPlay. Randomly cuts out to back speakers for 10 to 20 seconds. Yeah, that's a weird one.
What kind of radio do you have?
Well, it's factory because he's using a Pack Amp Pro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. First part of the question answers your question.
There you go.
The sad thing is really when it comes to Toyotas, very rarely do we ever use an Amp Pro, only because we're going to do a new radio or we're going to do a DSR1. Most of the time, 90% of the time, we're doing a radio. In the 2022 Tacoma, I think we can still do a radio in that car. They haven't changed the dash. We don't even bother. Like, it's just a headache to begin with. So I would recommend giving Amp a call because it's and there again, if it's something that the more information you can hand to them, they might just tell you, hey, look, take it back, get a new one. But I can tell you that is not normal from all the other vehicles we do that have Amp Pros. That's not normal, obviously. So a late carbon MW6 and a piccolo tweeter input. That sounds wonderful. You know, that sounds like a really, really good way to go.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait a minute. Sorry. Hey, Dean and Fernando, the Mesh Man is cool. AC is cool. He's very cool. And it's the interweb. It has to be true. Yes, it does. What's up, Christian? Don't tell me what to build. Okay, Ada. Angel, make fun of Ada. Lance, make fun of Ada. Everyone, just make fun of Ada. Just tell them what to do. Hello, Bobby.
25, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man, what's going on? So last week when Christian was in, he also had Paul send him the RVD FL piece so he could do wireless Android Auto in his Audi. So now he's an innie. Hold on, pull this one up. On my F-150, I tied off the factory ground. I tied off the factory ground point for the factory 110 volt inverter when I ran the 4 gauge from my battery. Okay, yeah, I mean, for sure. You know, why not? But that's what you want to do.
All right.
Hold on. This is a part 2. Let me save that one there. Okay. I have a Kenwood head unit, DNX706S, connected with a Maestro RR to my Subaru. The screen was doing weird things like going black, going to other screens, like it was possessed. I took it out and sent it back to Kenwood for repair, but they sent it back saying that it tested for a long time and they found no issues. Could it be the Maestro unit, and how can I fix it? Thanks. Technically, yes, it could be the Maestro unit. There's no doubt about that, because the Maestro unit's data connection to that also controls the steering wheel's selection for it. Now the screen going black seems kind of odd, but here's what you might want to try to find out if it's a data issue between the RR and the radio. So it could be a data issue. It could be a steering wheel issue. 2 things I'm going to suggest. Go ahead and pull that off the screen so I don't have to look at it, because it's like that's a huge thing. 2 things we want to check first is
what's up, Bobby?
Try flashing the RR for like an Alpine ILX W650. Okay. Leave the steering wheel. What it's going to do is it's going to turn off the data-to-data connection, and it's just going to treat it as a normal smart harness, like if you were to buy a pack piece. And then you can plug it in and see if all the functionality still works. Don't plug the data cable in. Make sure you follow the instructions. So you're going to lose your steering wheel controls for the time while you're doing it, and you're going to lose your data connection for the time while you're doing it. So your tire pressure and that stuff won't show up. However, the radio will still function. Like, you don't have to rewire your harness. you can still use it as just an interface. And what you're doing is you're seeing if everything is working fine without data use. Then flash it back to the right pieces, plug everything back in, and see what happens there. You can get the radio to turn on with unplugging the data connection most of the time. But you'll lose features like reverse and stuff like that if you don't have the data connection. So it's not like you can just go in and test it and unplug the data and see if that solves it. And you can try. It doesn't hurt to try, but there again, maybe getting your hands on another RR maybe could also be a good idea. Anything's possible. When they were testing it, were they testing it with an RR connected to it? They probably weren't, which is another thing, is they just powered it up and didn't bother to ask you, because they can present a dummy RR to it to see if it's going to do anything. So, part two.
Part two of what?
What happens if you use load resistors if you don't need them? What if you use too high of a load resistor?
So you read the part one?
I didn't read part one.
There you go.
But part two it seems like it's its own question.
All right. So the part one, so we can get speed. It's
I was gonna say.
Hang on.
Hey guys, you're the best. Love the channel. You make 12. Okay, great. 2022 Ford Escape non-BO using the audio control D13.5. High level in. Should I use blue LGDs or green LGDs? You should use green LGDs.
This is the part two.
Part two is what happens if you use load resistors, you don't need them. There's not a Ford on the planet that you don't need load resistors for. You always need load resistors.
And nothing happens.
And you're not going to use too high of a value. Like, you can't, because you're going to put a 4 ohm load resistor on it. That's a speaker. No, so you're fine. All right. Think of it like this. This is a better way to think about it than thinking like, oh, scary things like load resistor. It's going to hurt something. The reason why you need the load resistor is because when the chip that the amplifier is built on was designed, they put a safety feature built into it. That safety feature, when you turn on the car, the amplifier wakes up. The the little computer in it, tells it to go look out to this area here. And what it's looking for is a certain ohm load, okay? It just has to be above what it's looking for, okay? So, for example, if it goes out and it sees the 4 ohm load or the 3.367, whatever your speaker's resting at, it's cool. But it needs to see a minimum number. So it needs to see like 30 or 0.30 or whatever, something like, micro, whatever. Anyway, my point is that that's what it's doing. And if it doesn't see that, then the amplifier shuts off. So it's just a check that's put into it, and all you're doing is faking it out. You're just faking the amplifier so that it goes, I'm cool, In some cases, the second use for the load resistor is that the amplifier becomes unstable when you don't put a load on it, meaning it's designed very cheaply in that it gets a little haywire if it doesn't have some kind of resistance on it. So it's like screwing the tensioner, okay? And if you don't get it just right, then things get spin too fast and fly out. So the load resistor is the tensioner on the amplifier that's keeping it in check. Either way, it's used to seeing 4 ohm.
We're not like a mechanic thing. A tensioner and then.
Well, I know, but see, some people understand that better than
yes.
Because you say load resistor, it's like
what is
a
it?
Load of shit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's
load. Yeah,
needs to load it down. So
it's loading.
And there again, those are the two functionalities behind the load resistor, and that's why it's not as scary as it seems. The reason why it's beginning that way. Have you
working on a G-Wagon? Yeah, you work in a G-Wagon.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't worked on a modern one. I mean, not like they changed the G-Wagon all that much. But
no.
Yeah, I put 5 PBR Rockford amplifiers in it. So underneath
Melvin,
yeah. So underneath the back seat, I got pictures of it somewhere. Underneath the back seat where the factory subwoofer is, Rockford makes the little PBR 404s, and at the time they made like a 301 and all that. So I put 5 of those in where the factory subwoofer was. I had to hide one because I could only fit 4 across. But anyways, $20, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
Okay.
2013 F-150 Amp Pro to the D5-1300. Do I need both bass knobs? Good ground point behind the seat, Super Crew. Should I go active from or passive with Infinity Kappa 603s, C fronts, and matching on the rears 5x7 or 6x8? I'm sorry.
All right, let's break this down into the 10 questions. Glad you gave 20. All right. First thing, do I need both bass knobs? No, I would strongly recommend going with the bass knob for the Amp Pro because the AC3 bass knob is great as it is. I absolutely don't like using it. If I can avoid using it, I try to avoid using it at all costs. So I would go with the Amp Pro. Now you're using an Amp Pro. So in a 2013, I'm assuming it's a Sony system. So Amp Pro is going to integrate in. You're going to retain the factory amplifier. That means that there is going to be power there to power the rear speakers. I would definitely go front stage upgrade in this, meaning use my D5-1300 to power just the front speakers in the subwoofer and let the factory radio deal with the rears. I'll use my front to rear fader to fade it more towards the front because that Sony amp, even though it's less power, is going to get hot real quick. It's going to be like, ah, and then it's going to stop. Okay. So I'm going to want to turn that down and fade it to the front a little bit so that I don't have to worry about that. And it's not interfering with my awesome front stage. But for me, yes, I think the front stage upgrade, better way to go, and let the rears just do their thing and everyone be happy. Was that all the questions?
Yep.
All right. Well, hold on. Before we do that, keep that right there.
Yeah,
but
fine.
let me pull this up and go on. Hey, and since we were talking about audio control not once but twice, 2 5-1300s in this, what are they talking about? They're talking about the 5-channel audio control amp, which is finally here. It's awesome. It's been around for a while. The DSP version I like to use as a front stage upgrade, meaning 1 and 2 are for tweeters, 3 and 4 are for mid bass, or something along those lines, and power that sub with all the power that thing has. They just dropped the DSP upgraded software. It's in beta right now. If you've never used it before, by all means, go to town, download it, play with it. If you're doing a final, like this is not my stuff, remember, guys, it's beta. But I would definitely recommend downloading it. Jeff Smith did a wonderful video because Amp Global owns, which is where he works. Control. So they own audio control now. Jeff did a great video not too long ago about showing you all the new features that are in the software. You can find that over on the Amp Global page or the audio control page for that matter. Watch it, figure it out. That's probably in the next couple weeks we'll be doing a live how to use DSP software, going through the new software, so stay tuned for that. But otherwise, thank you for being a sponsor of the show. Doesn't someone make a variable load resistor for the industry? No. What you have, the closest thing to a variable, as you call it, because keep in mind, they make, all right, so hold on, give me 1 second. Let me grab some parts here.
Pizza Day, what's up, man?
I'm gonna make a mess.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one out there, just hanging.
Yeah, shush. Okay, so this guy right here, this is a variable resistor. All right. This variable resistor can't handle any amount of power. This is basically what we used to use these for, was for alarms. We'd use them for steering wheel controls, and then we'd also use them for Fords to go from to turn the voltage down so that the subwoofers wouldn't pop when you turn on the stereo. Now they have a Volt 3.9 that takes care of that, but this is a variable resistor. Now on the audio control LC2i Pro, the LC1i, and the Epicenter Micro, they have this switch right here, this switch. And the reason why they have that switch is they've taken the blue, the green, and the gray load resistors, and they've actually installed them into this unit. So this top area here where the name is, if you were to take this apart, there's 3 load resistor banks inside of this. They're big. They have to handle power. Like this handles 40 watts per channel of 40 volts. Sorry, not 40 volts. Oh, sorry, not 40 watts, 40 volts of input power.
Yeah.
This would catch on fire. It'd just become a fuse. So those are kind of what we got. And then Kicker makes theirs, and they just went for, they said, screw it, we're just going to make one big one. It's the KISS load. And then Audison has the speaker simulator, and then JL has their speaker simulator, but they're all fixed. They're not variable.
All right.
Okay.
Christian, thank you for the 5, man.
I'm installing a double Dean Kenwood and a 97 Ranger. How much would I do to install it? How much would I do to install it? Or how much how much money would we charge? I don't know that.
So if you're asking for our installation price, then you have to call
I
Paul
have no idea.
at the store. And if you wanted to do it,
so really it's not that bad.
No.
You do have to take the whole black piece out of the car, which you're going to have to unscrew the whole thing, pull that out, because you're going to need to sand the top. So where the factory radio went in, there's a top piece and a bottom piece. We actually have a video on this. I can tell you, just search like old F-150 radio install, but we have a video where we show you how to sand it in like an F-250 or an F-150. It's all the same process. There's like a little 1/8-inch lip across the top and the bottom that just has to be sanded off. Circular sander, rotozip or something like that. Go from the back side, not from the front side. Remove that. That's it. That's all you have to remove. Don't remove anything from the left and right side, because the kits all use that to snap into place. That's it. I mean, the hardest part is just sanding those 2 pieces, and you're going to sand them flat. Don't just go until they're flat, and then you're done. It snaps in. Both the Metra and the pack piece snap right into place.
All right.
Hey guys, I have a set of Focal KRX3s. Can I bridge Moscone 90.8 so that channels 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 run the mids and tweets using the Focal passive crossovers? Then bridge channels 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 to the mid bass running active. That way all speakers are getting sufficient power. I see what you're trying to do there. The KRX3 should have come, I get it. So it comes with a passive crossover. Okay, so no, don't do this. Okay, do it. Okay, so they're going to get, all right, so they're going to get sufficient power if you run it as a 6-channel and go active tweeters, mids, and then bridge the 4 channels to the mid bass. That's going to be the better way to do it 100% of the time. You're going to get plenty of power to both the tweeters and the mid doing it that way. I mean, you could trust me on this or not, but trust me on this, they will know. Take the passive crossovers out, put them on the shelf, hang them in the office, put them on the desk behind you, but do a 6-channel on this amplifier, 1 and 2 tweeters, 3 and 4 mids, 5 and 6 to this, 7 and 8 to that. It'll be wonderful. It'll sound great. It'll be tons of power. Trust me, it will be tons of power. Doing it that way, no. I would never in a million years do it that way. So, but I hope that answers that question.
All right. So.
You good? You good?
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Hey, Dean and Fernando, have you guys worked on a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander SE? Try to get to the radio to look at the plugs, so I may line up a converter to add amp. Mitsubishi.
No, we haven't.
I'm trying to think. Does anybody? No, I was trying to think who would make a harness for a Mitsubishi. I know iData just came out with some Mitsubishi stuff end of last year.
Really?
Yeah, they did. No, iData came out with Mitsubishi stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think they have a.
What? I mean, they'd have a harness to go into the radio. I mean, it's kind of what it is.
Kind of the thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of their thing. I don't know. Maybe check out iData and see if it goes up to that year. Sometimes too, he'll play with that for a minute, see if we can find anything. All right, let me go through these real quick.
What year is it? 2021?
I meant how much cutting. Okay, so there you go, Christian. It's 2023, 2022, 2023. Yeah, you're just gonna cut the top two little lips, the 1/8 piece. They don't go up that high.
2021.
They only go to 2021. Damn it. That just means they haven't verified that. We got Gately subs tonight, sir. I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
Go for it. All right.
All right. So hang on.
Okay. Just want to say you guys are great. My buddy won the ARC Audio subs. He won't sell them to me, though. I mean, you know, I'm glad he got them. I'm glad he liked them. That'll be the last subwoofer box we ever send out. I can tell you that right now.
No kidding, right?
We will never send out a subwoofer box ever again. Thanks, ARCs, for giving it to us, but damn it, I should have asked for something else. All right, so okay. After 2 sound quality shows, I concluded that I don't like it. Makes no sense for the goal to be a flatter tune when the competitors have better sounding personal presets.
Yeah, not like sound quality is not for everybody.
Okay, this is all right. I'm going to use this analogy only because this is the best one I've ever come up with. And I'm not a fan of sports, but it's amazing how many sports analogies I have just so that people that like sports, which most people do, can put things. Have you ever watched a Mayweather fight?
Yes, of course.
Isn't it the boringest goddamn fight you've ever seen? Like, isn't it just like a snooze fest? Is it? No, it's okay. You can just. Yeah, I know it is because we've had this conversation. It's a very boring fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he wins. And
he knows how to win.
And he knows how to win.
Yes.
Okay. So the reality is this. Do you watch NASCAR?
No.
You don't watch NASCAR? You don't watch cars going around in circles really fast?
No, because then I puke.
Okay. So the idea behind NASCAR is the same thing. All the cars are created equal. It's the driver that wins.
Correct.
Okay?
Yeah.
So
whoever has the best skills.
Exactly. So when you say sound is subjective, which it is, it's very subjective.
Mm-hmm.
These groups have to put a baseline down and say, I need you to do this. And the person that gets closest to this wins. So they shouldn't call them sound quality competitions. They should just call them sound competitions because they're not it's not necessarily quality sound. It's a reproduction of sound that gets as close as we can to the benchmark that they've set. Right?
Okay.
Because it's not. You sat in a car and gone, this is lifeless and flat. And
no,
go,
but
it's tuned for Alaska.
Okay, yeah, hang on.
Well, never mind.
But then you sit down in some of the cars and it's like, wow, like this is like the staging.
Right, but they're playing
everything is really nice.
Yeah, but they're playing their driving.
100%.
Their driving thing. That's what he's saying.
Yes.
You know, their personal presets. It's like Jeff. Jeff had 10 presets.
Yeah.
One for Tommy, one for Bob, one for Chris, one for Mike, whoever the judge is. Mm-hmm. And then he's got 4 presets that are Jeff driving sounds.
Correct.
And those will never be judged because those are the ones that actually sound good.
Well, it's like you go into a boxing match and you're not gonna kick because it's not allowed.
but what I'm saying is Mayweather is going to win because
it's just scoring points.
He's scoring points.
Correct.
So a sound quality show is about scoring points, not about sounding good.
I don't know. I think those cars sound amazing for the circle that they are. No, for sure.
They sound terrible.
No.
They sound terrible. I've never sat in a car and gone, oh, this is what you competed with. This sounds amazing.
No, never. I don't agree.
Oh, that's fine. You don't have to. It's, you don't have to agree with the truth.
100%. Yeah.
You don't have to agree with the truth. Everyone else will agree with the truth, though.
No, not really.
That's okay. They will.
All right.
I recently purchased an Alpine ILX 507. Do you both know if there are any updates for it and where can I download them from? Thank you very much. Probably not any updates for it yet. And if there are going to be updates, they're going to be on alpineusa.com under the support tab. And then you're going to go to the support tab. And then halfway down the page, you're going to see something that says Knowledge Center, Knowledge something. Mm-hmm. You're going to click on the Knowledge button. And that's going to take you to the page. I know, right? God forbid you just have a page that says updates. And once you're in Knowledge Center, it's going to pop up, and you're going to have a search tab. You're going to type in the ILX-507, and that will take you to the downloads if there are any. You have to have a Windows machine if you're planning on doing it successfully. There's no like, hey, don't go to.
Yes.
Yeah, there's none of that. But support.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure what it's called. Knowledge Center. Yeah. So here we go. So this is it here. Knowledge Center. And you click on that. That's under the support tab. And you're going to come up to this page right here. And we're going to go ILX-W. Is it a W? 507? Yeah. Nope. Just 507. 507. And then we'll hit enter. And it looks like right now, I thought there was a W on there. Maybe not. No, there is no updates for that radio. But this is where it would be if you're, yep. So there you go. Nice and easy to find. Hey guys, a question from the previous video. Oh, don't expect it. Who is Tony D?
Tony.
This is an SMD DD1. They also have the CC1 and 10 other things. Right there on the bottom where it says D'Amore Engineering.
Yeah.
That is Tony D. So Tony D'Amore, also known as Tony D, is the man behind the SMD DD1. Obviously, this is Steve Mead Designs, his partner, Tony D'Amore.
Yep.
Who's a really big dude and also an electrical engineer. So smartest guy in the room. He really is too. I'm not going to search his page for the article though, but you can find him on Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah. Tony D'Amore.
What was that you mentioned that they have to stop the woofer from popping in an F-150? What we were talking about was in the older Fords that have the 1771 harness or something like that, and they had a little tiny 4-pin harness to go off to the subwoofer. We would use these to stop that. Now, we use these, which is the Pack Audio Volt 3.9. This is a great thing to have hanging around anyone's install bay. The reason why it's called a Volt 3.9 is that it's got a little switch on it where my finger is. It'll do 3 volts, 5.5 volts, which is for Ford, 6 volts, and 9 volts. The reason why it does all those is because backup cameras are either going to be 3 or 6 volts. Ford is 5.5, and some Sirius XM modules are 9. So you get the Volt 3.9. This and a TR4 will save the day every time, and an Ignition 3. So the 3 things that we stop. We actually have a video where we talk about all 3 of these things just because they're so cool. What's up, Mr. Vega?
What's up?
Sir Vega, shallow, passive, spare tire sub thoughts. I would prefer the JBL base hub, but don't think it will fit in my Blazer. Did we got the diamond one?
We have the diamond one.
We got the diamond version of that. We haven't had a chance to do anything with it.
Yes.
We've done the base hub pro. They're both very impressive. Sir and Vega Diamond is the same company now, just in case you didn't know that. But no, we haven't had a chance to play with the Diamond Audio one. The Diamond Audio one is a 12-inch though. Supposedly it's super sexy. We have it, and we took it apart and looked at it. It looks pretty badass, and it's pretty solid for sure. So I didn't help. I just gave you one more to look at. Haha. Coaxial components in the rear door. Any advantages either way? I mean, the nice thing about doing a component in the rear door is you can leave the tweeter out and just do a mid bass, kind of like that one. Okay, so this is an easy thing to dismiss, but it's not. All right, coaxial or component. The rear door, typically when you do a component in the rear door, the tweeter's up really high on the door, okay? It's nowhere near the mid-range. It's up high. which means it's like right here behind my shoulder, which typically sucks. So I gotta make sure that this is either it's aimed towards the rear so it doesn't affect me, or I have to tone it down. So it depends on how much around sound you want. Like if you're worried about front stage, having a tweeter that close to you that's just screaming in your ear, probably not going to be a concern about worrying about, you don't want that. You'll be like, I don't really want front, I want, yeah. So the other thing too is who's sitting in the back seat. Okay. We had a gentleman that came in and he was all excited about the ESP. Oh, this is going to be great. It's great. I can't wait. And cool, man. We did it. He comes back and he's like, dude, what'd you guys do to my car? I'm like, what do you mean? Because it sounds like an AM radio. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I hop in his car and I play my songs and I'm sitting there and it's doing all this stuff. And the guy's singing in the center, the guitar over here, drum over there, then all this stuff happening. He goes, see, that's what I'm talking about. It just sounds like all the sound is coming from there. I'm like, dude, literally, it sounds like there's instruments all across your dash. What are you talking about? I hate it. Okay, no problem. So I went in and I turned off time alignment. And all right, what do you think? Oh, this is it. This is what I wanted. And I go, okay, you didn't want time alignment. You bought all of this and you didn't want time. Okay. He was also complaining that, look, I have people in the back seat and they're like, everything sounds like it's coming from the dash. Yes, that's what it's supposed to do. They're not enjoying it back there. I'm like, oh. So in this gentleman's world, which it's his world, I'm just there to make sure he's happy, is 4 sets of components is what this guy wants. And that's what he got.
Yeah.
And he wants them all playing component stuff. Me, I don't want that. I want maybe a set of coaxials for sure, something just to make sound. And that's it. So it really comes down to what you're trying to do, Scott. And that's it. Should you have rear speakers? Yes. How much you want to come from them? That's entirely up to you.
It's funny because that was the next one.
I know it's been asked,
but it's the same thing.
How do both you guys feel about rear fill? It's okay. So I'll tell you another story because that's what we do here. So Sage, for those of you guys who don't know Sage, he's up in Tennessee at
Sounds Good
Car Audio.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I always screw it up. And they sell a lot of F-150 stuff. So you guys have never been to Sound Good's Car Audio, definitely check out their website. They do some really cool stuff. They also do some really cool builds on YouTube. They have a great channel. Sage is an awesome guy. He was the tall gentleman that was with us when we were out doing the Orca training at Mobile Solutions, Master Tech Expo coming March. Anyways, he did the Bronco. He built the Bronco. So for those of you guys that have seen the Bronco video that we did, where we shot, one of the cars we have listened to playlist, it was his. He built it, and he talks about how he put the KX2 4-inch tweeter in the rear. What? Why are you shaking your head? In the rear, and he's not a rear fill guy. He hates it, but because he has the new Moscone DSP that has the new rear effects channel, he was like, dude, every car is getting rear fill from now on. Every car. Oh, and hey, if you'd like to know more about Moscone, definitely head over to moscone-america.com. Earlier in the show, we had a gentleman asking about the 90.8. Mm-hmm. That is Moscone DSP amplifier. Christian just picked up a 4-channel version of that because he wanted an AB class amplifier that had a DSP. Some of you guys are big AB class fans. They have affordable DSP amplifiers, that are class AB, which is unheard of. So check them out, moscone-america.com. Thank you for being a proud supporter of the show.
Yeah. There you go.
Tony D worked for Rockford. Correct. He did. Yes, he did work for Rockford. And thankfully, he doesn't work for Rockford anymore because if he did, we wouldn't have gotten the DD1. It's a good story. If you ever meet Steve, have him tell you all about it. I'm not going to tell their story. How do you get a question answered? You ask. Next. Keep in mind, when asking a question, we try to, if you're typing a novel, condense it down to one question, something we can answer in a timely manner. If you have 20 questions, ask one question at a time. It just makes it go by a lot easier. And that's it. There's no secret to it.
All right.
Oh, is that him? Yep. No. Okay. I think. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. No. So
I know my brain is somewhere else.
I'm thinking I'm learning that.
Yeah.
I think I'm learning that.
Yes.
I would rather have an SQ car that sounds awesome to me than to have one that sounds awesome to the judge. But that's why you have presets. That's it. You put presets.
This one time, I'm sitting in it all day. Yeah. Okay. So correct. No. There again. That is why you have presets. Yeah. Okay. So that's why on my car I have drive modes.
You have 3-4 presets for the judges done. And then you got your presets for you, daily driver, how I like it, loud, and everything.
And there again, I feel like there's a disconnect here. I feel like there's a disconnect in that, the allure of the sound quality competition is that you're gonna have the most sexiest sounding car, and you're gonna sit in there and you're just gonna get your breath taken away. And then you get in and you're like, no, this is wrong, this is wrong. That's like, wow, this sounds great to me. I don't understand. Well, you're not trying to sound great to you. You're trying to sound great to the guy sitting next to you.
Yeah.
Who wants the tweeters blasting in the mid-range, kicking so hard.
Why not?
Anyways, so, yeah, and Fernando has a valid point. That's what presets are for. You have, and that's what we talked about with Jeff having his 10 presets. He has, the idea is to win the competition.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what the idea is. When we talked to Greg Cobbs, when we were talking about Fukuda was talking to the two, they were having this conversation. Two of them competed in SPL for years and years and years. Brian Schmidt, Greg Cobbs, and Fukuda all competed. Fukuda would always win. When he decided to retire, he went to Whiskers, who's Greg Cobbs, and said, hey, man, which in the interview we talk about this. He says, I'm going to give you the secret to winning. And he's like,
oh, finally.
The secret to winning is minimize your losses. Okay? That's how you win a sound competition.
He almost punched him in the face.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I thought he was going to tell me the secrets to designing a box.
You have to run
no,
this.
The secrets to winning a sound competition or a boxing match or anything for that matter is minimize your losses. Look at where you can trim and get points, okay? That's it. That's how you win a sound competition. The guy who wins first place in a sound competition has won because he got the most points. How do you get the most points? You minimize losing points. I often talk about it when I was at the Emma World Finals, okay? It's not just one thing. It's several things that you compete in that you get points on.
Yeah.
And the idea behind that is that there's plenty of chances to win. Some of the new stuff here in America, they've just made it one thing. Like, it's got to sound this good, but there's no points for building and there's no points for fab. And it's like, well, that sucks because you don't get any points for anything else. So yeah, I can see the disconnect. I really can. I'm glad we've had this conversation.
Perfect.
I'm thinking my questions might be long for this platform. There again, one question.
We're just trying to pick something that probably makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
quick.
we're not trying
and then we can go around it. Yeah,
we're not trying to solve world hunger here. We're just trying to answer a couple questions. And Dean, Bobby, I got a JP95. Going to run it with the Epicenter Micro. The base knob for the JP has a volt temperature clip indicator. Run them both. There's no reason not to. You can. It's not going to hurt anything. You want obviously the micro, you want it so you can have the effect. You run them both. Go for it. Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
What do I need to upgrade my 2020 Accord speakers, but while keeping the stock head unit? Okay, so the first question I have to ask Kenneth Strickland is premium audio, non-premium audio. That's the most important thing. Premium audio, you're going to need at least a DSP that has 6 channels of input. 2 of those channels have to be discrete, meaning separate from one another, not paired. At least 2 channels. We like to use the PXE0850X from Alpine as an interface for this. The reason why is in the premium audio, you have to retain the center, the sub, the front tweeters, and the front mid-range. Those are your 6 inputs. We like that particular DSP because it has 8 channels of 25 watts of amplification. Now, if you're going to do a full active system after the fact, that's cool. But we like that because what we'll do is we'll take 5 of those 8 amplified channels. We'll power the center channel with 1 because you have to retain the center channel. And then we'll power the 4 rear speakers because there's an active tweeter and an active mid in the back. So 5 of those channels will power that. And then the rest of the channels, which are going to be the 4 front speakers and the subwoofer, can go off to a 5-channel amplifier. So we run those 2 in combination. Now, if you just have the base model system that just has no subwoofer, it has front and rear, it might have tweeter, mid, and the front door that's not active, it's a passive set, and then the rear door, you just need something that has 4 channels of input. So any DSP or high level to low level adapter, or any amplifier for that matter that has 4 channels of input, you're all set and ready to go. That's it. You know, you will need low resistors on that one. I think on that one we've been doing the greens. Audio control greens. So that's it. Right. Almost 45 minutes in. Thank you, Fang.
45 minutes in.
I know, it goes by so fast. I have a 2023 Ford Expedition. Yay! I want to put separates in the front, coaxials in the rear door. I have a second row version, but having issues as where to have a sub. Need as much room as possible as it's our dog hauler. Ooh. Okay. Sounds great. All that. Do what you want there. 2023, there's really no interface yet for that. So, you know, if it's non-amplified, non-BO, then it's just going to be 4 channels out of the radio. So go in any DSP that has at least 4 channels of input, DSP amplifier. What you may want to think about for subwoofer is doing a down-firing enclosure. Okay, get some shallow mounts, maybe 2 10s or 2 12s, 4 8s possibly, and do a down-firing box. That way, your dog can crawl all over the top of the box and not affect anything. You know, you could do 4 8s across the back area there, like, you know, behind the seat, or 4 10s, make a subfloor, put some carpet on it, and they're going to fire down. You're going to have a gap about that much underneath it, but the dogs ain't going to hurt that. They can walk all over the top of the box, dog hair on, it's not going to hurt a damn thing. And you're going to have tons of bass. The more bass you want, just make the floor bigger. I mean, if you got some of those are 4 feet by 3 feet, you could fit 6 10s underneath that if you want it. And the dogs won't hurt it at all. So don't think conventional subwoofer, think shallow mount, down-firing subwoofer. You could even do 2 of the Kicker. Kicker has they have the solo they have the L7T shallow. I do 2 of those. You know, if you're not in a building your own thing, do the 2 12s, fire them down, dogs can walk all over them. Yeah. Pretty simple. And you'll get a ton of bass and don't have to worry about them, you know, being dogs.
All right. Okay. So I think I have his.
Yeah, right here. This one?
Right there.
I have a 2014 Mazda CX-5 with the Bose amp. Ever since I had the car, I would get a humming noise from the lower right side mid speaker 6.5. So I replaced the aftermarket, still get the humming noise. So I assume it's a bad amp.
Is it humming or thumping?
It's a humming. I heard, thumping noise. All right, thumping noise. I assume it's a bad amp. Come to find out, a replacement Bose amp is $400, which I think is out of this world. Crazy.
No.
Outrageous. How do I find out if there is just a short
in one of the speaker wires coming out from the amplifier?
Well, it depends on how crazy you are, how thrifty or how technically savvy you are. If you think it's a bad wire, you could go to the amplifier and cut the wire that's going to the door, solder a new wire on, and run it, or twist it, whatever you want to do, over to the speaker. You might not even have to cut it. Just run a new wire over to the speaker. Just to test and see if that's the case. You could also, this is what we do in the aftermarket world, is we would also switch the wires. So we'd put left on right, right on left. It's a little bit harder with a factory amplifier for sure, but it's not that you can't do it. If you can get to the factory wiring harness and you know what color is which, you could easily just strip the wire back, cut the 2 sets of wires, switch them over, And then if it switches to the other side, you know it is the amplifier's output. If it stays in that side, well, then you know it's something else. But you just have to treat it like an aftermarket amplifier at that point and figure out what it is. But it's gonna suck. Even though it's a 2013, it's a 10-year-old vehicle, 20-year-old vehicle, 10-year-old vehicle. It's got a Bose, and it's Bose is going to suck. It's going to cost more. The other thought you could do, crazy idea, is you've already replaced the speakers. I know you're probably not wanting to spend $400, but you may want to spend a little bit more money and just get a new radio and just take the Bose amp out altogether. No Bose, if you can, in that car. I mean, I haven't done that particular vehicle in a while, so I don't know what the radio looks like, but that's also another option. But getting to the factory amplifier and just running your own wires at that point is really the best way to test it.
Yeah. All right. El Fernandez, no, everything is good, man.
Right now?
On my car?
This moment in time?
No.
Because it's not running.
Because it's not running.
So everything's good. We'll know more later. We'll know more next week.
I'll let you know.
I have a set of focal access 6.5 for the rear doors, rear fill. Will the power of a Kenwood, be enough to run them, or will it require an amp? If we're talking coaxials, you're golden. Yeah, you should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. We've done more. We've done more with less. And we've done that. All right, hold on. Let me go to here. I'm thinking of just adding an aftermarket amp and trying to bypass the amp. Is that easy to do? No, it's not. It's not easy to do. Like I said, at that point, you probably want to keep in mind, how many channels is the Bose amplifier? You're not going to go buy a 5-channel amplifier and drop it in there. More than likely, the Bose amplifier is more channels. It could be a dual. You have to know how many channels it are. Most of the time, it could be 6, 7, 8-channel amplifier, 9-channel amplifier. That means that you have to do that because it's not going. And then you have to interface it with the factory radio. There's not going to be RCAs there.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to come in here and ask us what we would do in this situation, we'd either charge you to do what we just talked about, or we'd put a new radio in it. And I wouldn't even bother to do what we just talked about because I'd be like, it's a waste of our time. And it's going to cost you more than $400 to have us troubleshoot this thing. So at that point, I would just be like, listen, just put a new radio in the car and be done with it. But yeah, I mean, an aftermarket amplifier, if the factory one is $400, you're not going to get an aftermarket one of similar size you might be able to put like 2 Alpine 455Us in there, maybe. But yeah, this is not an easy one, for sure.
Do you remember what was the model number?
What was the answer to the Christmas giveaway question you did with the newest Kenwood Exelon radio model? It was no.
The 9 series?
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but yeah.
9. It's available now. We did one today. 958.
957.
No, it's an 8. It ends
8. Yeah, that's right.
It's an 8.
Yeah.
It starts with a 9. It's got 3 letters and ends with an 8. I want to say 958.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, DMX or DMN.
Mm-hmm.
DMN. No, DMX. DMM? I don't know. But you go to their page, it's going to end in an 8. It's a 9, starts with a 9, ends with an 8.
All right, talk about more Kenwoods.
What is the easiest way how to set the slope, the crossover on my Kenwood?
Yeah, Kenwood DDX.
No, I don't need the model number. I'm just.
What is the easier way?
I mean, as far as we're talking about slopes, you're going to be doing a system that is just, front rear sub more than likely if you're using deck power. On a Kenwood, it has 6, 12, 18, and 24 dB. In most conventional wisdom, we would say, hey, cross over your front speakers at 80 hertz at 12 dB. Everyone is happy.
Yeah.
Get a lot of sound out of it. But because it's a radio, we can have a little bit more fun with it. We're not blending a speaker together. Like, we're not so worried about the blend between the subwoofer and the rear, the mid bass and the door. So depending on what you're listening to, as far as music goes, you might have 6x9s in the front door, and you're like, oh, you know what? I really want my 6x9s to give it to me. And what do I do? So you can say, all right, well, I don't have a subwoofer, but I also don't want to blow my 6x9. So you could do something like 40 or 50 hertz at 24 dB. That would allow them to play deep, but then when the really deep stuff comes out, they cut it off. So when you're thinking of the crossover slope, it is how fast you're cutting off the frequencies past the point of the number. So like 80, everything below 80 is how fast does the volume go down. Okay. Yeah. So, when you look at 12 dB, that's 12 dB per octave. So that means the volume between 80 and an octave down from 80 is 40, because it's half or double, is 12 dB. All right. So we've reduced the volume between 80 and 40 by 12 dB. All right. If we do 24 dB, that means we're doubling the amount of volume down at 40 dB. So now it would be 40 dB would be almost non-existent at 24 dB. So that's what you're doing. Everything past that crossover point, it's not that it's gone. It's not a wall that just stops the sound.
Yeah.
It's how fast is it reducing the volume of that sound so I don't blow that speaker. So at 80 and 12, you're still going to get some bass. It's just not going to be so loud that it blows the speaker. That's the idea. Okay.
Yes. So you probably you.
What are you talking about? Yeah. Okay.
Your answer correctly, but if you didn't win, a lot of people did the answer fine, but that was
we drew the winner.
We drew the winner, and
not everybody won.
Correct.
So there was. On that day, there's probably between 600 and 800 people that answered the question
correctly.
More than likely, there was probably a good portion of those, probably 95% of them got it right. Out of those 95% of them that got it right, that would be somewhere between, there again, 600-700 people. We drew 5 names, and those 5 names went into a bin, and then we drew one of those 5 names.
That's right.
So that's how that gets answered.
Yeah.
And then that day we had, was that the day that Seth was here? So yeah. Seth drew the winner. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, it's a raffle. We drew, your name didn't get picked. It's okay.
Next year.
Maybe. I doubt it. I don't know. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Click on that. Just freaking click on it, dude. Did you guys announce the winners of the Master Tech Expo already? We did not. We did not answer those because we were waiting to get some information back from the winners. We have since got the information back from the winners. We will be announcing it. We're going to do it today, but then the week just got away from us, and I was waiting on one gentleman to get me his information. He got it to me kind of late, so I wasn't able to put it all together. So we will be announcing the winners on Monday. Of the 8 contestants that are going to Master Tech Expo in Arizona in March to compete in the first Clean Wire Challenge at Master Tech Expo. If you caught the news yesterday, we talked about another challenge that is happening for those of you keeping track. That is 4 competitions that are going to be happening outside of the regular fun and excitement that's just going to be going on, or shall I say learning by professionals. Chip Foose being there, that's going to be pretty cool.
Yes.
Fireworks show, that's going to be pretty cool. Generally learning from some of the best teachers there are, that's probably okay. But then being able to compete or watch the competition of the Clean Wire Challenge, that's the reason why you go, guys. That is 100% the reason.
That is going to be awesome. That's for sure.
Yes. So no, and keep in mind, for those of you guys that are like, what is this Master Tech Expo? I'm new to this.
What's up, Gary?
What's up? Master Tech Expo is open to anybody that can. It's a pay-per-play event, so it's a school you go to for Sunday to Wednesday. You learn from
the best
of the best, and that's it. There's going to be 4 challenges happening there where you're going to have the build-off challenge where there's 4 teams that are going to compete for the best of the build. There's going to be our challenge, which 8 people are going to compete for the title Clean Wire Master. There's going to be an alarm challenge put on by Viper. There's going to be, I think, 8 teams of 2. And then for anybody that comes can compete and the nighttime nighttime lighting challenge.
Yeah.
That is simple. You just make the coolest lighting display that you can that can fit in your suitcase, and you bring it. And at nighttime, we're going to judge to see everyone that goes gets to judge to see who made the baddest, most awesomest light display there. And that's open to anybody that's going. So if you haven't decided on whether or not you want to go to Master Tech Expo for
Do it now.
What are you waiting for, man?
Yes.
It's not getting any better.
Lunch, dinner, breakfast is included.
You don't have to pay for food.
So,
it's in beautiful Mesa, Arizona.
Yes.
And dude, if you're up north right now, think of how pretty Mesa, Arizona would be in March.
Okay.
Ooh, it's gorgeous.
Yes.
Oh, it's so nice.
It's so nice.
It's going to be a lot of fun for sure. And when you leave there, your head will be going, "Ow, quit, it hurts. I know way too much."
Oh no, you're gonna love it.
We got to meet some. There was a couple guys that went last year that were just, like, I just wanted to come.
Yeah,
I just wanted to come.
Yeah.
Spent the money. I wanted to learn. Wanted to see. Matt Schaefer was teaching in class with Gary Bell. You guys know them from the Old School podcast.
Old fashioned.
Whatever.
Yeah.
My bad. They were there teaching class together as expected. It was pretty awesome. I got to teach a class with Andy Waymeyer from Audio Frog. That was pretty awesome. And then, our hero, we got to sit in his class in the morning, Tom. That was spectacular from Music Car.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, now I want pizza.
How do I make my LED flow with the music?
I have no idea. I'm not that guy.
Just go to Metra. They have that.
Yeah, Metra has LEDs up the wazoo for sure. All right, last question.
Finals.
Dean, I was wondering, will there be a finals in the country you visited in 2022? The Emma World Finals. Correct. There will be one in 2023 World Finals will be happening. I don't know if I'll be going. More than likely, probably not. No one has talked to me about it yet. If Ground Zero decides they would like me to come back out again, I will be more than happy to do it. I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. And Austria is a beautiful place, man. God, it was fabulous. It was one of the coolest places ever. So, yeah, I would go in a heartbeat. That's it. That's all we got, guys. That's the show. Thank you so much for playing along with us tonight. Thank you for asking your questions. As always, we can't do the show without you. So thank you for being so much, guys, and hanging out with us for the hour. Saturday night, which means we get to go home, do cool stuff, cool Saturday night stuff. If you guys are going to go out and do the same, hey, man, be safe. You can find all the cool tools that we use over on the website, DNF Tool Drawer. The IRTA too. That's right. The tool. Ooh, we got some fun stuff we're going to be doing with that this year. I can't wait. Also, I will say I can't say it. No, there's going to be a sale. But hey, if you want to pick up like jackets and hoodies and stuff, dnfswag.com is a place to go for that. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys go have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you back on Monday.
Bye, guys.
See ya. Fade to black.